So my daughter-in-law sent me a text last week and she said, please pray for teachers. She's a teacher in an elementary school in Florida. And she said, we've got a time change, we've got a full moon, and Friday the 13th. Little did she know what was going to happen this week. And I'm sure most of you are watching the news, and we are facing some very interesting and challenging times. But here at America's Keswick, we want to remind you, first of all, God is still sovereign. God is still on the throne, and none of this has taken him by surprise. So we wanted to bring you up to date on what's been happening. One of the ways that God supplies our needs is through the guest groups who come to America's Keswick. 30% of our revenue source comes from churches and organizations that come to America's Keswick for their own conferences and retreats. So Jim Lang is with me. He's our Director of Guest Services. He's a graduate of the Colony of Mercy. So Jim, tell us a little bit about what's happening with our groups.
So because of what's going on with the coronavirus, we have a lot of groups who are concerned, and we've been getting a lot of phone calls from a lot of the key groups that we had coming in this weekend and next weekend and pretty much over the next month or so, looking to cancel their retreats. And so this weekend we had 5 groups scheduled to come in, and arriving today we just have 1 group. And so we're definitely seeing the impact of the virus and what's happening in our culture.
And we already have a major group that canceled for next weekend.
Yeah, for next weekend, our largest group, which is about 100 people, ended up canceling today for next weekend.
So for us as a ministry, the impact that could have it could be devastating.
Okay.
But I want to just tell you a couple things what God has been doing in the last several days, because I want it to be an encouragement to you. We had a group that has made a commitment to give a $4,000 offering. And then we received word that God gave a gift to America's Keswick. It's an anonymous gift. It came in a very unusual way, but the gift is for $18,000. So between those 2 gifts, it covers what we lost this past weekend. So we're really, really excited about that. Last night was our men's fellowship night. And, we were expecting to have a really, really good night. We weren't sure if guys were going to cancel, but we had a full house. But we had something really, really unusual happen last night.
We did. We had a surprise guest come in and lead us in worship. Casting Crowns was scheduled to play a local show here in Trenton, New Jersey, and it ended up being canceled. And through some backdoor connections that we had, they ended up leading our worship for Men's Fellowship Night last night and surprising all our guests.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome to be able to stand up and say we had a small group that was coming in to do music. We want to introduce Casting Crowns. It was just an awesome night, particularly for the guys of the Colony of Mercy. So again, God keeps showing us those amazing ways that he's providing, those touch points that say, you know what, I still have you in my sight. I am still going to meet your needs. It's going to be interesting to see how he does that. So let me just give you a couple practical things you could do. Number 1 is pray. You know that's the passion of what we do here at America's Keswick, is challenging folks to pray. If God tugs at your heart to give, obviously this is a good time to consider giving a gift to the ministry of America's Keswick. And you know how you can do that. You can visit our website, www.americaskeswick.org, and use the Donate Now button. You can call 1-800-453-7942. You can mail in a gift. But I want to just say one more thing. Your first responsibility needs to be to your local church. This is the time when small churches and big churches are going to be impacted because so many ministries are having to shut down their services. And we already know that when church doesn't happen, people tend not to give. And so please don't neglect your tithing and your giving to your local church. But if God's touched you in a special way for this ministry, please consider a gift. But there's one more way that we can encourage folks to help us.
So with the cancellations of our groups, we do have a bunch of open rooms. And so if you wanted to get away for a few days, for a weekend, you can give us a call. We have some special rates going on. And so you can call our reservations and we'll get you booked, and we'll serve you some meals. You can use our activity center and you can get away and relax a little bit.
So even if you're a small group and wanted to come and still do a retreat here. And we do have toilet paper, so I don't want that to be a concern to you. And we have taken precautions. Most of the precautions that we take are things that we already do, best practices. And we have a statement on our website about that, so if you want to check that out. But again, we wanted to bring you up to date on what God's doing, how you can pray, practical things that you can do to help this ministry. But again, please do not neglect your local church. Thanks for giving us the opportunity to share with you today.